The first thing the hooded figure did was step away from the well. The second thing it did was stop when Peanut whimpered. Not when I shouted, not when the wind changed. When she made that small sound, the figure froze in the middle of the yard, as if it had been waiting for it. That was when I understood it wasn't watching the cabin, it was watching us. I hadn't planned on spending the night in Hollow Creek. The town was supposed to be a short detour, an abandoned settlement, and a cabin Peanut and I could use before heading home. Most people know me as General Bob. Peanut only cared whether I had checked the doors. The road ended at a rusted sign and black windows. No power, traffic, or ordinary sounds. Peanut jumped out of the truck, then stopped. She was looking past the cabin at an old stone well in the yard. The rope hanging from its pulley was moving in slow circles, even though the weeds around it were still. "Stay close," I told her. She came inside, but she kept looking back through the doorway. The cabin had one room, a dead stove, and a floor that complained under every step. I set my pack beside the table, checked the windows, and tested the phone. No signal. That part was normal for Hollow Creek. The silence wasn't. After dark, something rubbed against the stones outside. At first, I blamed the wind. Then I heard a voice. "Stay close." It came from the direction of the well. It was my voice. I had said those words once, at the doorway, before dark. The voice outside repeated the same tired breath I had taken after the drive. Peanut lifted her head. Her ears pointed toward the door, but she didn't bark. She moved until her shoulder touched my leg. The voice came again, softer this time. "Stay close, Peanut." That part I had never said. I locked the door. Then I heard footsteps cross the yard. They stopped directly outside. I pulled a small surveillance camera from my pack. It was battery-powered, infrared, and good enough to show the yard without opening the door. I fixed it to the frame and checked the feed on my phone. The yard was empty. Then the image stuttered. A hooded figure stood beside the well. It faced the cabin. The wind moved the branches above it, but the hood didn't move. Neither did the figure's feet. It looked less like someone standing still and more like a person who had forgotten how standing worked. Peanut pressed against me. "All right," I whispered. "We're leaving." On the screen, the figure tilted its head. I had not spoken loudly enough for anyone outside to hear. The front door faced the well. The back window opened onto a narrow path leading downhill to the truck. I killed the cabin light, clipped Peanut's leash to my belt, and put the phone in my pocket. My plan was simple. Keep the flashlight off, stay low, and move behind the cabin without looking at the yard. That last part was the hardest. On the screen, the figure seemed one slow step closer to the cabin. Its feet were still beside the stones. I looked down at Peanut. When I looked back at the phone, the figure was closer. I checked the feed again. Closer. It wasn't moving while I watched it. It was moving whenever I expected it to move, or whenever I looked away. Peanut tugged hard toward the back window. She wasn't looking at the figure. She was looking at the floor beneath us. Something tapped once under the cabin, then twice. I stopped trying to understand what was outside. I opened the window, lifted Peanut through first, and followed her into the cold grass. The yard felt larger without the cabin light. Every step toward the truck seemed to take us farther from it. Behind me, the front door creaked open. I did not turn around. Peanut kept moving, but she stayed close enough that I could feel the leash against my wrist. Halfway to the truck, she stopped and looked over my shoulder. I heard the rope at the well begin to turn. Then the footsteps crossed the yard. Not toward us, back toward the stones. I reached the truck, got Peanut inside, and turned the key. The engine coughed once, twice, then caught. In the headlights, the hooded figure stood beside the well again. It raised one hand, not waving, pointing at the cabin. We didn't stop until the road widened enough to turn around. Only then did I replay the camera footage. The figure had never walked across the yard. It had only appeared closer each time I looked away. I scrubbed backward through the last minute, expecting to find a glitch. Instead, I found a second shadow. It rose from the mouth of the well at the exact moment the cabin door opened. The hooded figure stayed outside, pointing. The second shadow moved toward the cabin. Peanut is safe. She was asleep against my leg before we reached the highway, but I still don't know what opened that door. I only know the figure by the well wasn't trying to get inside. It was trying to make sure we looked somewhere else.